My girlfriend and I are about to go on a road trip in southern Vietnam for the next 3 days, all by motorbike. Leaving the hustle and bustle of Ho Chi Minh City, going south to Con Ta, through Cà Mau, making a random stop with family, and finally reaching our destination, the lowest point in Vietnam, Dat Mui. Join us as we ride through diverse landscapes, try different foods, get wet from pouring rain, meet new friends, and experience the highs and the lows.
Do you have your wallet?
Of our adventure through the Mekong Delta. Our journey begins here, in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, and about 160 kilometers southwest was our first destination, Con Ta. As we traveled, the weather was great, the road was smooth, and we enjoyed our time getting to the city. When we arrived, things were a little windy. It's a little windy out here. Girlfriends, we're trying to figure out where to stay right now. Yeah, very windy. Right now, we're just chilling, kind of waiting. We are at our location. This place is called Nghe Nhi Han Phuc, basically happy guest house in a way. As you can tell by the chair that's sitting here. Anyway, the reason we chose this hotel is not because of the name. We were gonna come and see a few different hotels, but there just happened to be a lady out on the balcony of the first floor. Oh, you're from Hawaii? Okay, okay. And so it was just kind of like, okay, yeah. And she liked it, so I was like, sure, okay, we'll stay. The balcony overlooks our street that we came in on. So that's kind of cool, be able to sit out there. Except we can't sit out there because the bench is broken, sadly. But, oh well. So we're going to get out of our riding clothing, go out into Con Ta's evening area, basically go out and explore this evening and see what we can find. As we left our hotel and started venturing around the city, I heard the familiar sound of motorcycles and I had to investigate. To my surprise, I stumbled upon something I had no idea was even happening this weekend.
Is that a racetrack? Is that a racetrack?
Huh?
Is that a racetrack? Do you hear the engines?
Yeah.
Like people racing motorbikes and stuff? I want to go in there.
As I sat at this light, contemplating whether to turn around or not, I finally thought, screw it, let's go check it out. What I happened to stumble across was a practice session for the full race tomorrow. However, I was able to see some riders going around the track, as well as the tent area where all the motorcycles and teams were set up. There was also a guy who kept going back and forth on his motorbike. Dangerous, but fun. I was like a kid in a candy store. I wish I could have stayed for the race the next day, but I knew I couldn't. However, there were some funny moments from the race that I did see on Facebook. Following the awesome motorcycle area, we were both famished and had to get some food somewhere. Everywhere we went seemed to have no one there.
I want to go to a restaurant where there's people.
Yeah.
Because everywhere there had nobody.
I've always been told to look for crowded restaurants if you want good food. The locals know where to go. So we decided on a nice Korean barbecue place. We were trying to find some traditional places to have food, but we couldn't find anywhere that looked great, so we stopped here. I did try to eat a little more traditionally, and, well, you'll see. Yeah. Not great. Dessert was good though. After being re-energized from dinner, we went down to the local night market for some exploring. The place was packed. I mean, it was a Friday night after all. So we found a parking spot, took off our helmets, and began walking the boardwalk along the river towards the night market. Now, being a foreigner in a foreign country, sometimes you get moments like these. My name is Maurice.
My name is Leo.
Leo. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Hi. Yeah, she has little shy. Thầy đó, thầy. Nè, thầy á con, thầy dạy tiếng Anh á. Con nói chuyện với thầy đi. Con hỏi thầy giùm mẹ thầy bao nhiêu tháng thầy đi. Thầy đó, thầy đang dạy tiếng Anh, thầy giới thiệu ra. Thầy dạy tiếng Anh đó, con hỏi thầy đi. Thầy nói tiếng Việt được á. Hỏi thầy đi. Thầy giới thiệu với thầy. Hỏi nhiêu tuổi?
Sợ lắm. Dạ, sợ. Em, con bao nhiêu tuổi?
Con bao nhiêu tuổi?
Con bao nhiêu tuổi?
2 triệu.
Bao nhiêu?
2 triệu.
What's your favorite animal? Cat? Okay. What's your favorite color?
What a car you like?
Car?
Yes. Are you know Lamborghini?
Lamborghini? Be it Lamborghini. Come car. And come car.
You where we first start?
After talking with them for a few minutes, we took a photo together and went our separate ways. After roaming around a little more looking at food, as well as seeing people scurry to get their motorbikes before police take them for illegal parking, we decided to call it a night and head home. We started the next day trying to find the floating markets, only to realize it's not going to be as easy as we thought.
Yeah, that's the market right there. Yeah, that's that floating market. We just can't, we just can't walk there. Choco. Không biết nhiều có thể đi bỏ ở đó, nhưng không biết.
Giá nhiêu vậy con? Nhiêu 2 người đi 300 mà chứ 2 người 300. Đúng không?
For 2 people, that's not bad.
We learned that in order to see the floating markets, you had to take a boat, and the boat ride consists of many stops.
Come on.
Instead, we decided to get some breakfast at a place rather close to where we were last night. The place we ate at was a ban kun location. Ban kun meaning rolled cake. It had a very oceanic feel to it. And much to our chagrin, the rain kept coming and getting worse. It's raining quite a bit now. We are about to head off towards Cà Mau. This is going to be a wet ride. Probably not going to record any of it because you don't want to see somebody being very wet. We're actually going to go visit a cousin? I believe a cousin or an uncle or somebody of my girlfriend. All I know is that this is going to be a very, very, very wet ride. Oh, okay. Let's do this. Okay. We are, it's raining. It's raining a lot. So we are trying to get to where we need to. Took a wrong turn. Ended up underneath this bridge, but figured we'd stop now just to kind of chill for a sec. I'm wearing my rain stuff. He's wearing a full-on rain poncho that goes all the way to the ground. After riding for a while and being soaked to the bone, we needed to stop to rest and get out of the rain for a bit. The rain was downpouring, absolutely unrelenting.
Okay. We are now in Cà Mau. I couldn't do any of the videoing before we got here really because, well, it was raining hard the whole way basically. But now we are in Cà Mau and it stopped raining, which is allowing me to kind of do what I'm doing now.
With no more rain, the roads began to feel fun again. Many holes in the road, but my motorbike passed over them with ease.
This is where my Honda XR does awesome, because I can just go over all of this with no issues whatsoever.
Little did I know what they would mean in the future. Eventually, we met up with one of the family members of my girlfriend, and they showed us the way to their house.
Where the hell are we going? When I think, like, rural Vietnam, this is not my thought process. We are in the middle of freaking nowhere. This is country Vietnam.
We have made it to my girlfriend's uncle's cousin's place. They live in the middle of freaking nowhere. But we are planning on catching and cooking some crab. A guy has already caught some. So the guy is kind of throwing out some traps and stuff.
Whoa! Say hi.
Ăn cá hả? find out where we could put it.
What do you mean?
Your motorbike. This box. We can put the crab.
Live
in.
crab?
Yeah, live crab. Yeah.
What?
Live crab.
Wait,
We bring it to home.
we're taking it home?
to for my mom.
Really?
And this is how I ended up with crabs in my givey box. I did learn they tied the crabs up with fabric. Never knew they did that before coming here. I didn't film a lot at the family's house because of their own privacy, but leaving their house, I finally learned just how bad these bumps really are. My big givey box on the back, I usually never lock it because we had a bag on top and my girlfriend also had her back to the box. I never thought that the box could open and stuff could fall out. Well, because of my stupidity, that's exactly what happened. Back at lunch, my girlfriend asked me to put her wallet and phone in the givey box. This was purely my mistake.
Do you have your wallet?
We looked for a while. We had a rough idea where it could have fallen out because she said she felt the box open when we hit a hard bump. We went back to that bump, found the phone case, so we knew that's where the phone fell out, but we couldn't find the wallet. Eventually, we had to leave. It was getting very dark, and we still had a long drive ahead of us. I was very sorry for what happened, and it made me feel really bad. The entire night just went downhill from there. I was planning to get new spotlight style headlights on my motorcycle the week prior, but ran out of time. I didn't expect it to be so bad though. It was really, really dark. My headlight just wasn't enough to ride comfortably, and to add to it, it started to rain like it was earlier in the day, which made it even harder to see and even harder to ride. We finally arrived at our hotel. Took us a while to get here. The first place we wanted to go to, which we did call to see if they had a room, but they didn't. Well, when we called earlier they did, but now they don't. So when we got here, they didn't have a room. So we went to another place down the road that they called, and somebody came over to come get us, and we drove over to their place. And as we were driving in, the kid opens the gate and then sees me as a foreigner and says no foreigners allowed within the hotel or within the Ngingi or whatever. I guess he made a phone call, some other random stuff. I showed him I'm not a tourist, I'm actually like a resident of Vietnam. And they let us stay, which is nice, but I thought there would be hot water. There kinda is, but it goes away very fast. They don't have shampoo, they don't have anything here. Yeah. Good end to the night. Hopefully tomorrow will be better. I hope tomorrow will be better. Good morning. We got in super late last night, so I wasn't able to see any of this last night because it was really dark. But we are at our little ngingi still. Just a simple little room, not much to it. So we are in this one right here. But we're really far south of Vietnam. The coast is just over there. There's a little kid right there peeing into the water. It's right over there. But yeah, we're very close to the south of Vietnam. The beach, at least, to like the lowest, furthest southern point in Vietnam. So that's what we're trying to do today. Hopefully today will be a little bit better than yesterday. We'll see. I hope so, but you never know. Sometimes things turn for the worst. I do know that we have like about a 7-8 hour drive home, so that's gonna be fun. But yeah, let's see what the day brings. I don't know. It's all spontaneous from here. And spontaneous it was. We both got up and headed out, not sure where to get some breakfast. We found some strip mall looking area and chose a restaurant there. We were both still so exhausted from the day before. Fortunately, the food was good and definitely what we needed to make the day start to feel better. As we walked along the boardwalk, wishing the weather was better, we came across the tower. The tower signifies the end of the Ho Chi Minh Road, a road that stretches all the way from the far northern border of Vietnam to where we are now in Dat Mui. My girlfriend and I decided to take a candid photo with it. Beside the tower were these really cool carved rock mural image sculpture things. The left depicting the development of the people of Dat Mui, and on the right, the Vietnamese army and people historically fighting to protect their national independence. I found these sculptures to be really interesting and beautiful to look at. They even had a backside that I wasn't expecting to be there. As we walked further along, observing our surroundings, we came across another landmark of sorts, a GPS 0001 coordinate. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but those people found it interesting enough to take a lot of photos with it. My girlfriend? Not so much.
I'm just waiting for them.
Continuing along, what I thought to be a lighthouse appeared. I'm not exactly sure what it is supposed to be for, but it was very tall, and I was really excited to enter and see what was inside, as well as look from the top. Upon entering, it was very empty, but I was met with many historical photographs. As someone who loves the history of things, I walked around this whole place looking at the photos. They were very fascinating and gave a really good insight to the past lives of the Vietnamese. But we came here to do one thing, and that was to ascend the tower. A quarter of the way up, we were met with an open balcony with great views of the courtyard we just walked in from, as well as the ocean. This gave me time to just relax, take in the view, and forget about my troubles for a moment. However, I still needed to get to the top. With a grand total of 248 steps, I reached the top of the tower. The views were amazing. A full 360-degree view of everything around. Down here, that is where
the statue where the big power pillar is. Gosh, I can't even talk now. We had breakfast just beyond over in the little shopping mall little area. You can see the island way down there. That island is actually the furthest part of Vietnam, like the most southern portion of Vietnam. But there's nobody out there. There's no like homes and stuff out there, I believe. I don't know. Over here, I'm not sure what this is. Looks like a little statue and some stuff. We're gonna walk over there in a bit. We're gonna head down this trail here. It looks like it kind of wraps around and goes down. So we'll see. All right, see you down there. At the end of the path were two very notable figures in Vietnamese folklore. The Mother Ao Cơ and the Temple of Lac Long Quang. They are, according to legend, the parents of all Vietnamese. Their story is quite interesting, and I'll leave a link in the description for you to read for yourself. Have fun?
Yeah!
Don't.
Much fun.
Okay. So pretend.
Yeah! So much fun!
Trip wasn't the best, but I'd say we did well with the weather and other stuff. Wasn't too bad. Definitely could have been worse. Definitely could have been better. But we made it do.
Made it.
Lie. And with that, our trip to Dat Mui was complete. Only an 8-hour motorbike ride to go. The ride back home to Ho Chi Minh City wasn't too eventful. Got to see more beautiful scenery, experience a little bit of rain, like a bird on a tree. Ride at night again, and then learn I did not have a headlight anymore. Overall, a great ride back home. I hope you enjoyed my girlfriend and I's trip to Dat Mui. If you'd like to see more videos like these, subscribe to see more adventures in Vietnam. Also, be sure to like, comment, and hit that notification button for my next videos. See you in the next adventure. Peace.
It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free. Sometimes you need to go and take a step back to see the truth around you. From a distance you can tell. You and me, we're meant to be.